affecting the quality of democracy, If you look at success of democracy in terms of procedural democracy, India has been a shining example. One of the things that we have delayed at huge cost has to be readdressed. And here I agree with Prime Minister and Home Minister that, perhaps if we do it in a way where symmetry between population and democracy is maintained, and also given the peculiar character of federalism in India, like asymmetric federalism, there will be here and there some inequities. But overall, I think, we will have a different experience in terms of all winners model. I'm supporting a all winners model, unlike the Western model of winner and loser model of democracy. So that's my initial response to your question.
This question is for you, Ajit Keja, psephologist and senior journalist. Can Lok Sabha absorb demographic shift without reducing representation of any state?
Not really. It's not possible given the existing formula. You see, the Kartike, I think the whole debate has been framed, according to me, in a political manner rather than what I would call, a sort of consonant with reality. Reason. See, it's not South versus North. The whole question is being posed right now in that manner. It's basically, according to me, look at it in another way. The coastal states versus the hinterland states. Gujarat, for example, is a shining example of development. And so is Maharashtra. None of them are southern states, right? So all the coastal states in India have higher rates of growth, higher rates of urbanization, and the so-called Hindi heartland, in this case, the inland states, do not have that, do not share that. And what is the reason? The reason is that coastal states all over the world have a big advantage over inland states or hinterland states because the transport cost is zero, because you have access to oceans and sort of seas. So the whole thing is being debated as if the southern states have been extremely successful, the northern states haven't. No, the northern states are also facing enormous obstruction in development because of this character, the fact that they don't have access to sea or ocean. So that's why I said, look at the coastal states. Look at Bengal, one of the highest rates of literacy, right? It's a northern state. So every coastal state has that advantage. They have higher rate of urbanization, as I said, higher growth rates. Gujarat is the number one in the country. Maharashtra is almost on top, along with Tamil Nadu and others. So I think right now the question is being posed in a rather political manner. My sort of issue would be that the way Stalin is raising the issue right now, first of all, this delimitation that one is planning will only happen once the census of 2021 technically will be complete, right? And that is also linked to gender issues. Remember the one-third
I'll come to that, Ajit. I'll come to that. These are the five. Today there was an editorial which was written by Professor Ashwini Kumar. I found it very riveting, very a different perspective in context of how delimitation should be seen. So the third question is, should representation of South in Rajya Sabha be increased? And then I'll come to other two very important issues. Is it possible?
Yeah. I guess if you look at global debate on delimitation in our larger research, the editorial is a very small part of, and I'm kind of responding to queries that when is your part 2 or part 3, Kartike? I think this response is limited, and I agree that time has come when, just looking at delimitation, there was a design issue with the original constitution. If you look at, and I think, more competent lawyers and professors in law would look at more carefully that why judicial review was not offered to delimitation. B, if you look at the process of delimitation, I guess it's very important to re-examine the relative balance. We have suggested interested in our larger work on delimitation, including other political scientists who have worked on delimitation, the time has come where this loss, that you are going to incur in Lok Sabha can be offset by redesigning, reinventing, Senate like Rajya Sabha in India. Kartike, time has come, So in terms of the institutional re-engineering of the current parliamentary system, we need to go for that, So delimitation is not a zero-sum game. I agree with Ajit that it's been framed very, very wrongly rather. So it's not a zero-sum game. And two, delimitation is not just
Okay. Now let me come to the fourth and a very important question. That is, will delimitation empower women and SC/ST communities? Because very few people understand that delimitation will ensure that the women reservation bill gets implemented in this country. Without delimitation, you do not have women reservation bill. Second, the recent survey done in Bihar and other states have shown that the population of SC/ST seats have gone up. So without delimitation, I don't think it is possible to increase the SC/ST seat. Your comments, Ajit.
I agree that one reason the deed limitation should be carried, it has already been delayed enormously, 30 years. So I think it should be carried because, as you rightly pointed out, the caste survey in Bihar shows, and it was a very well done caste survey, very robust data. It shows that scheduled caste, scheduled tribe numbers have gone up drastically, right?